Hello, I'm David Stishon. Today I'm going to speak to you about George Whitefield, an English itinerant minister of the 18th century, who many have claimed to be the greatest evangelist since the Apostle Paul. Whitefield's preaching had a profound impact upon the Great Awakening in America and what has been styled the Second Reformation in the Transatlantic world. As a young Oxford student, Whitefield belonged to the Holy Club, a small Bible study of 8 that included John and Charles Wesley. Though they took different paths in their ministry, all three are considered the creators of Methodism. Upon graduation, Whitefield embarked upon a journey of ministry that carried him first to pulpits and then into fields and commons throughout Great Britain. As his crowds grew into tens of thousands, Whitefield became at once a celebrity among the commoners and a distrusted radical among the ministerial establishment. Answering a plea from John Wesley to come preach in the fledgling colony of Georgia in 1738, Whitefield returned to America for a whirlwind preaching tour from 1739 to 1741. He sailed along the coast to major seaports to preach in the streets and commons, and then rode thousands of miles on horseback throughout the interior to speak in open fields. Whitefield became a regional sensation. His success came as a result of three factors. First, Whitefield spoke powerfully as a Calvinist about redemption and the necessity of individuals to be born again in Christ. Second, Whitefield was an extraordinarily charismatic public speaker. Third, Whitefield promoted his teachings and appearances in advance by using new printed media forms, an advanced team led by William Seward, and a commercial vocabulary suited to the rising consumerism in the colonies. In numerous articles and his biography of George Whitefield, Thomas Kidd points out that Whitefield's phenomenal success was not merely his talent for preaching and writing, as he made the whole world his parish. He gathered a team as promoters and agents of advanced publicity and to select venues for his preaching the Calvinist doctrine to the masses. Using his enormous popularity and notoriety, the evangelist partnered with philanthropists, newspaper publishers, book and pamphlet printers, and sympathetic letter writers and to promote his message and to build anticipation for his open-air preaching. One of Whitefield's many publishing partners and friends included Benjamin Franklin, who for many years printed and sold more copies of Whitefield's sermon pamphlets and books than his own Poor Richard's Almanac. In his autobiography, Franklin remarked, quote, "It was wonderful to see the change soon made in the manners of our inhabitants. From being thoughtless or indifferent about religion, it seemed as if all the world were growing religious, so that one could not walk through the town in an evening without hearing psalms sung in different families in every street. Farmers and tradesmen walked or rode for days to hear powerful speeches from the preacher in his middle 20s, exhort the faithful to open a direct dialogue with God. It is estimated that during 13 trips to America, up to 80% of the population, or 10 million people, heard George Whitefield preach before his death in 1770. Congregational and regional covenant renewals and revivals took place for 100 years in America before Whitefield arrived to preach. However, the young cleric became more important than Jonathan Edwards and other popular establishment ministers in the colonies as a force in the Great Awakening that climaxed around the year 1750. George Whitefield took the gospel of the primacy of the individual to the masses. The old lights could protest, but after itinerant minister Whitefield preached and wrote in America, evangelicalism was here to stay. After 1750, the 13 colonies burst out of the flames of the First Great Awakening as America. Before this colonial revival, ministers dominated all local and regional public discussions and concentrated on matters of faith. George Whitefield and his cohorts brought the masses together outside churches to hear about redemption and personal faith in a revolutionary way. As Thomas Kidd points out, while, quote, evangelicalism didn't start the American Revolution, the patriot side certainly benefited from the support of the evangelicals. I'm David Stishon, and I wish you a Godspeed.